all. Recently there was a conversation that we had, Dr. Anne-Marie and myself, concerning I'm watching a football game too, concerning the choice that individuals make to go into MMA or to pursue something else instead of going to the Olympics. And here's what I need for you to understand. People don't choose to go or not go to the Olympics. So that's a moot point. You can't say, oh, I chose to do MMA and not go to the Olympics. No, what you did was you chose not to train for an opportunity to go to the Olympics. Because the Olympic pursuit is a 4-year pursuit. And when people say, oh, I didn't really feel like doing the Olympics, I went and did something else, that reminds me of people who sit at a table with me and say, oh yeah, I could do a marathon, I just don't feel like training for one. Well, if that's the case, you should shut up and you should be quiet. Because if you don't want to train to go, you really can't comment on going or not going. It's kind of like when people say, oh, I didn't really want to compete because I didn't feel like I had to validate my skills with anybody. Let me tell you something. The only way that somebody knows if you're good or not is if you compete. That's it. We all have to be validated or battle tested. There are certain things that you just can't fathom, that you just can't reason out, and you just can't receive unless you have the experience of competing. That's just a fact. That's like me trying to have a talk with somebody about a movie and they only watch the trailer. So when somebody tells me that they decided not to go to the Olympics, I say what you decided to do is you decided not to train another 4 years. See, an individual like Ronda Rousey, and this is what wasn't in the discussion that Dr. Emery and I talked about, was there was no reason for Ronda Rousey to pursue another 4 years. Because the question is, if she did another 4 years, could she outdo her performance? Ronda beat everybody. Ronda has world medals. Ronda has an Olympic medal. The difference in judo of getting second place and third place is no different at all. It means you lost one match. The question is, can Ronda train for 4 years, go all the way back to the Olympics, and then get a gold medal? Because there's no reason to go back and do less. See, the thing about it is, it's not worth the investment. It wasn't worth her time. She had already been at the top of the world. She had already done her thing. For me, people say, why didn't you do another 4? I didn't do another 4 because, to be honest with you, going 1 and 2 in the Olympics and being one of the top 16 players in the world at the end of that day in the 100-kilogram weight class, that was the best that I could do. Couldn't do any better than that. Done. Over. I didn't have another 4 years to commit to the process. And let me also explain this. Being an Olympian doesn't only have to do with you being good. It has to do with you being resilient, and it also has to do with you having some luck to be in the right place at the right time. Because that 4-year cycle that exists in 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, let me tell you something. It is... the process is unrelenting. And the process, although fair, is unfair. Because there may be a sport that you're in where you peak at 15. Or you need to peak at 15. Or you should be good at 15, but you're not going to be good until you're 18. Because of socioeconomic status issues, or mommy and daddy got divorced, or parents don't make enough money. Or there are a lot of outside external factors that cause you to make a decision to compete or not compete, or that you're good or not good. So somebody could be decent, but they could have their best year ever in a non-Olympic year. Happened to Jimmy Pedro. Jimmy Pedro had the best year of his life in judo in 1998. It was a non-Olympic year, non-world championship year, right, Chris? Yeah. He went, I think, 83-4. He won 83 matches and only lost 4. Okay? No medal, no nothing. Won the Kano Cup, though, right? Or the Shariki Cup, something. Won the Shariki Cup. All right? 1999, Jimmy's a world champion. 2000, he gets 5th. He comes back. Why? Because he knew he could do better. That's it. Nobody passes up. Nobody passes up on the Olympics. I love Mola Wall, but Mola Wall didn't pass up on the Olympics to go do MMA. Mola Wall went to the trials, shot his shot. Okay, he didn't make the Olympic team. He chose not to train another 4 years and go into MMA. That's what happens. And for Carl to say that he has no regrets about what? Carl didn't crack the top 4 in the country. I think he was 4th in his weight class. At 81 kilos, Carl would have had to beat Rick Hahn. Who else? Aaron Cohen. Who? Tetsuya Okano. Who else?
Jake Flores, Reno Research.
Right. He wouldn't have beat all those guys in the same day. That's just a fact. That's a fact. Now, you can't say that about me because everybody in the 100-kilogram weight class in the United States, I have beaten during my whole career. Just like Rhonda, and just like you, Dr. Amaria. But Carl hadn't beaten all those guys in his weight class. Not at all. So for him to say, I didn't feel bad, no, bro. You didn't beat all those guys. So it's not like you passed up on the opportunity to go to the show. You passed up on the fact that you would have had to train and compete to go to the show, and that is not what you want to do. Now listen, I don't have no disdain or no ill will for Carl. I'm 100% appreciative of what he's done for judo. And to be honest with you, if USA Judo would really look at things clearly, and I have made the recommendation to them and tried to urge them to get with Carl Parisian. Man, Carl Parisian did more to grow the sport of judo than some modern day judoka. Absolutely. Absolutely. He represented the sport of judo well for that period of time while he was in the UFC, without a doubt. And so does Manny, and so does Rhonda, so does Rick Hahn. I did a little bit that I could being an old dog out there. Well, let me tell you something. That whole passed up on the Olympics, no. You passed up on the opportunity to train, and you didn't feel like it was worth your investment, so you did something else. That's what you did. That's the arrogant stance to take. You can't say, oh, I passed up on the Olympics. Not even Rhonda passed up on the Olympics. Rhonda passed up on another 4 years of training for the Olympics because she didn't want to. It wasn't worth the investment of her time. But rest assured about this. Nobody passes up on the Olympics. And the only way you can pass up on the Olympics is if you win the Olympic trials and you choose not to go. I passed up on the World Championship team. In 2005, I was number 1. I went to nationals. I won. I made the world team, and I chose not to go. Many people do that with the World Championships. I made the world team in 2005 and chose not to go. If I made the Olympic team in 2008, I would not choose not to go. So you can't say people choose the Olympics or. They choose the opportunity to train or. Because you can go down to a gym or talk to a promoter and become a professional MMA fighter tomorrow. You can't do that with the Olympics.